All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makak Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elected nation of Israel. All right, in this video, I'm going to be reading from some Bible dictionaries that I got, and then I'm going to go into some things, man. So the first one I'm going to read is from the I've got the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary here, and then I've got another one as well. It's called the Bible Dictionary and Concordance by Castle Books, right? And I'm gonna just read from this one first, the Bible Dictionary and Concordance by Castle Books, and I'm just gonna show something to show that, like, everyone tries to make out as though, right, as though the amount of time that humans have been on the earth is a very long time, but just based on, like, if you just read some of these books, right, and you see what kind of time frames people say that certain people in the Bible were alive, it's not actually that long ago. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is read what it says about Abraham in this Castle Books dictionary. It says, Abraham, father of a multitude, formerly Abram, a Hebrew patriarch, was called the father of the faithful. He was born at Ur in Chaldea. The year of his birth is doubtful and is given by Ussher as BC 1996, by Hales as BC 2153. According to Busen, he lived about BC 2850. So if we was to just like make the mean number of all of these dates, it's roughly like about 2300 BC that Abraham was born, according to what these people are saying in this Bible dictionary, right? Which matches what us as Hebrew Israelites believe, that humans haven't even really been on the earth for even 7,000 years, man. Right? Humans haven't even really been alive for 7,000 years on this earth, living on this earth, and definitely not 10,000, and for damn sure not all these millions of years ago that people try and talk about, man. Right? So what that lets you know is that, according to, if we go by the earliest one, which is 1996 BC, 1996 BC, right? That means that Abraham was alive roughly 4,000 years ago, which is not a long time ago. If you really think about that, for a long time, 4,000 years ago is not really that long ago, man. Especially considering that Yahweh Shai was on the earth like 2000, if we believe the dates of the years that we're in now, roughly 2025 years ago, Yahweh Shai was on the earth, man. So all these dates and all these times that people give for these things let you know that we haven't been on the earth that long, and therefore lets you know that when people are saying that Yahweh's taking a long time to bring forth things that he's going to do, it's not that long ago, man. I remember hearing about the Karag, man, right? And that being what that is, about 15, 16 years ago, right? And now, after being told that all that time ago, right, I've seen that it's coming closer and closer to where now it's way more common for everyday people that ain't even really big, not ain't even well known in this world, to be using that. And it's gonna get to the point where we might be in our local supermarket or something like that, and we just see somebody do that themselves, man. Right? I personally, still to this day, yet haven't seen somebody use their hand to pay for anything in the store or nothing like that. But it's gonna get to the point where we're seeing them things, man, on a regular basis. People paying with things with their palm. But right now we see people paying for stuff with their phones. But 15 years ago, that was unimaginable, right? People wasn't doing that. I don't believe that even cryptocurrency has been around 15 years, man. I don't think that Bitcoin is even that old, right? So people trying to make out as though all of these things are so far-fetched to happen, they don't know what they're talking about. Now I'm going to read what it says about Adam, just briefly, a little portion of what it says about Adam in this same Castle Books Bible Dictionary. It says Adam, the first man, right? It says Adam, and then in brackets it's got red or earthborn, the first man. He was created according to Hebrew chronology, BC 4004. So that's what, 6,000, let's extend it a bit, 6,100 years ago, let's say roughly, right? That Adam was alive according to this and according to what we believe as Israelites, from what the scriptures say, man, from the time frames of when it says how long ago people was born, right? 6,100 years ago is not really that long ago. If you really think about that, that the first man was ever born, that's not that long ago, man. That's not that long time. So everybody that's thinking that Yahweh is being slow with his time frames and what he's going to do things, they don't know what they're talking about, man, because it's not really that long ago, right? Now I'm going to read what it says about the new covenant in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, all right? Let me read it. But it's going to say, I think it's going to say New Testament. It says New Testament in this. And I'm going to get it because I know a lot of Israelite brothers have got this Bible Dictionary, right? This is page 397, right? Page 397 on the top left-hand side, roughly the first paragraph, right? It's within the first paragraph, right? Page 397 in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, and it's there. So if brothers want to like screenshot that or whatever, then they'll be able to see what it says, and it will be proof. All right, I'm just going to read it. It says New Testament. In fact, I'll read a bit as well from the other page. So I'm going to read the last bit of page 396, and then into 397. So it says, the new covenant is the new order of dispensation inaugurated by the death of Yahweh Shai. Compare his own reference to the New Testament in my blood in 1 Corinthians 11 and 25. It was so called as fulfilling the promise made by God to his people in Jeremiah 31 and 31, that he would make a new covenant with them, whereby the desire and power to do his will would be implanted within them, and all their past sins would be wiped away. And then it's got in brackets Hebrews 8 and 6. So I'm gonna read this again, and then I'm gonna go get it in the scriptures. It says, it was so called as fulfilling the promise made by God to his people in Jeremiah 31 and 31. So let's see what Jeremiah 31 and 31 says. All right, because we've got these Christians out there that they've got all the same sources that we have, man, and they don't even read the King James version. But now loads of Hebrew Israelites are reading what the NLT says and all the versions that they read, and in a lot of the places that we read certain things in the King James version, right, it sounds even more brutal in a lot of places in what it says in their versions. Yet they still don't believe the things that we're saying, right? But you know that they've read the things that we say in their versions of the Bible, and they know that it's true. They just got demons on them, and they know that they're Edomites, really, so they don't want to hear what we've got to say. All right, so Jeremiah 31 and verse 31, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I'll make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahweh. So I already read verse 31, and it clearly says that a new covenant is going to be made with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. But just to back up what it says in this Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, it goes on to say in it says that he would make a new covenant with them, whereby the desire and power to do his will would be implanted within them, and all their past sins would be wiped away. Right? So we're going to become, the default settings for an Israelite is going to be so that they do the will of Yahweh. Right? Now, there's animals, man, that are born being able to walk, and I always was wanting to know the name for this term, and I believe that the term is precocial. All right, PRECOCIAL, precocial animals, right? And it means that the animal is born being able to walk, and Israelites are going to be born being righteous, man. They're going to be the same way how we don't have to think, oh, I need to breathe, right? I need to make sure that my heart's beating, right? I need to make sure that my kidneys work, that my liver works, right? That my lungs are doing the things that they do. The same way how we don't have to consciously think about doing that. It just naturally happens all the time that we're asleep. Our heart's beating, right? All the time that we're asleep, our bones are creating, our bone marrow's creating red blood cells and all of that, right? We don't have to think about that. That's the same way we're not going to have to think about doing righteousness. It's just going to be within us. Anyway, back to this. Jeremiah 31 and verse 32 now. not according to the covenant I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahweh. But this shall be the covenant that I make with the house of Israel after those days, saith Yahweh. I'll put my law in their inward parts, and write it in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahweh, for all shall know me, for they shall all know me from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith Yahweh. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I'll remember their sin no more. Now, if the Israelites was under this right now, right, we'd be the most beautiful people that you've ever seen in your life, right? We'd be the most beautiful nation that anyone's ever seen in their life, man. And that's what we're going to be anyway. There's not going to be no thugs in the kingdom of heaven, right? There's not going to be no grimy hoodlums wearing a balaclava with that can easily be pulled up over their face on any moment's notice, and somehow wearing their trousers down their ankles, but can still run about only 2 seconds slower than Usain Bolt, man. Ezekiel chapter 14, right? Ezekiel chapter 14 and verse 21. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, how much more when I send my four-sword judgments upon Jerusalem, the sword, the famine, and the noisome beast, and the pestilence, to cut off from it man and beast. Yet behold, there shall be left a remnant that shall be brought forth, both sons and daughters, because men, although Israelites beget on these women about how wicked they are, right? Which they are wicked, men. There's still going to be women that are going to receive salvation, right? Behold, they shall come forth, and ye shall see their way and their doings, and ye shall be comforted concerning the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem, even concerning all that I have brought upon it. So we're going to understand why Yahweh had to make us go through the Atlantic slave trade. We're going to understand why Yahweh even made us go through the captivity of Egypt for 400 years. We're going to understand why we was taken to Babylon the Great and to all these other places that we was taken. We're going to understand why Yahweh made us go through gun crime, knife crime, killing ourselves. We're going to understand why we had all these curses put upon us, and that it was prophecy for that to happen, right? That was part of Yahweh's plan, that we was going to go through those things. Even concerning all that I have brought upon it, verse 23, Ezekiel 14 and 23, and they shall comfort you when ye shall see their way, when ye see their ways and their doings. I'll read it again. And they shall comfort you when ye see their ways and their doings, and ye shall know that I have not done without cause all that I have done in it, saith the Lord Yahweh. Right? So we're going to know and understand why Yahweh did all the things that he did to the Israelites when we're in the kingdom of heaven, man. And I just thought I would read a few of these things, man, because what it says right there in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary is exactly what Yahweh is going to do. And Christians have read this, right? But they'll somehow read this and try and spin it round and make out as though that's talking about everybody, when it's clearly not. You can't get a Moabite in the house of Israel and the house of Judah. They didn't have a tribe within that, right? The tribe of Judah, when it says the house of Israel, it's talking about Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And when you go to First Esdras, right, around the second or third chapter, it goes into how when the Israelites was coming back, right, when the Israelites was coming back from Babylon captivity, that Judah, Benjamin, and Levites, that the tribe of Judah was going back, the tribe of Levi was going back, and they had Levites with them too, right? Now, there would have been other people of different tribes that was going back as well into Israel, but that would have been just a few individuals. It wasn't a big mass of them, right? I believe Tobit was from the tribe of Naphtali, and he was used to travel back, right, from Nineveh, if I'm not mistaken, man. I believe the scriptures say that Tobit used to travel back to and fro to Israel to keep the feast from Nineveh. So, but yeah, I thought I'd just read that, man. All right, I thought I would just go into those few things from the Bible Dictionary, man. And the first thing that I was going into from the Castle Books one was that we haven't really been on the earth that long, so Yahweh's not taking nowhere near as long to fulfill all the things that he said he was going to do as what people think, right? And then when I read the New Testament description in page 397 of the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, it lets you know clearly that the new covenant is only for the Israelites. And then I backed it up with scriptures too. And the same thing that it says in Jeremiah the 31st chapter, it speaks about in Hebrews, the 8th chapter, right? I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.